So I was scrolling through my Twitter feed as I'm one to do on occasion, and I came across this another very disturbing video of Michael Bloomberg just saying some really horrible and disgusting and oligarchy type things. So let's take a look and listen.
And what things they can fix right away. If you're bleeding, they'll stop the bleeding. If you need an X-ray, you're going to have to wait. That's just all of these costs keep going up. Nobody wants to pay any more money, and at the rate we're going, healthcare is going to bankrupt us.
Wow, Michael Bloomberg. The reason, and obviously he's not being genuine with his criticism or critique of the current for profit healthcare system in the United States, because if he was, he would obviously be touting how Medicare for All, a new study just came out in the Lancet, saves over $450 billion a year, and over 68,000 people won't die if we implement a universal single payer Medicare for All type system in the United States. So the problem isn't that we're giving old people healthcare, Michael Bloomberg. The problem is that we have a for-profit healthcare system that puts insurance companies' profits and their bottom line before what's best for the patient, what's best for their health and well-being. So again, it's not, the solution isn't to cut back the benefits, that the already meager healthcare benefits that are available to people in the United States. It's to expand them, make it a single payer system, get rid of the profit motive. So again, people that make the argument that universal healthcare, Medicare for all, costs more money are either very ignorant or are being disingenuous. And I would argue the second one for Michael Bloomberg. He's, pretty intelligent, person. And so I think he could figure that out, but he is obviously, a right-wing neoliberal. He was a Republican for most of his life. He gave a, you know, very very elaborate endorsement speech of George W. Bush at the 2004 Republican, convention, stop and frisk. He's just, horribly racist and backwards in a lot of his policies and outlook, and healthcare is no different.
Not only do we have a problem, and we've got to sit here and say which things we're going to do and which things we're not. Nobody wants to do
that. Again, Bloomberg, but he's not a genuine actor or critic here. He's totally kind of straw manning the argument, because if he was making this argument in good faith, then he would be, again, saying that we need to be switching to a Medicare for all type system where everybody's covered. The overhead goes down substantially because we're not having to, negotiate with the insurance companies and do this whole rigmarole and back and forth to see if we're covered for this procedure, to see if we're covered for that, are we in network, are we out of network, all that stuff. And not to mention the profit motive, for these insurance companies is to deny people care because it costs money. That's how you save money, not by cutting people's benefits. That's just going to lead to more death and suffering, people putting off care, so when they do need it, they end up having to go to the urgent care or emergency room. This is why we need a total overhaul of how our elections are funded in the United States, because without public financing, we have oligarch ghouls like Michael Bloomberg who can spend $350 plus million on TV ad buys to prop his numbers up, because doesn't have that grassroots support. And why do you think the things that he supports and advocates aren't going to be to the benefit of the working people of the United States? He's, representing the oligarch owner class, and I think he's running because he's scared of Bernie Sanders.
You show up with prostate cancer. You're 95 years old. We should say, go and enjoy. Have a nice day.
That's so just fucked up and classist. The medical profession, the health insurance companies shouldn't have people dying because they think it's a bad move from a fiscal perspective. And again, this this type of logic and rhetoric wouldn't harm somebody like Michael Bloomberg because those type of cuts wouldn't, or those doctors wouldn't be telling him that he needs to die because he has the wealth and resources to get what kind of healthcare he wants. Even in our current for-profit healthcare system, he could get any type of treatment or service, doesn't have to worry about if it's in network or out of network. That's why we need a Medicare for all system, so everybody is guaranteed quality healthcare no matter their income, age, whatever. And he's just arguing, that poor people, when they get sick and old, that we should just say, fuck it, just go die. You're not worth living anymore. That's the type of logic that Michael Bloomberg is using here, and it's disgusting and despicable.
It's no cure, and you can't do it. If you're a young person, we should do something about it. Society.
Okay, then what's the cutoff there, Bloomberg? What is a young person? What is an old person? Is it after 50? Then no treatments, no surgery. You're old. You've had a long enough life. You can just go and die at home in excruciating pain or something like that. It's like, Jesus Christ.
So we're going to bankrupt us, and we're not looking
at... and again, that's not what's bankrupting the healthcare system. It's because there is a profit motive. We switch to a single payer system. Everybody's covered. We save close to $500 billion each year. 70,000 people won't die. And again, Bernie Sanders is the only candidate who will fight to make sure Medicare for all becomes a reality. He believes it's a human right. He's the only Democratic candidate who actually believes in that and who will fight for that. And it's super, super important. So let's check out some of these comments. I actually agree with him on this. We shouldn't be spending millions on cancer treatment for 95-year-olds. Sorry. And I really like this response. What do you think the appropriate cutoff should be for no longer worthy of care? 95, 90, 80? See the problem with this? Also, this only applies to us, like I said, not him. The rich have whatever healthcare they need for their whole lives. It's class warfare, plain and simple. Again, surprised he didn't say we should euthanize them. Too expensive. Abby Martin says Bloomberg is a sociopath. I would tend to agree. I'm driving my 92-year-old friend to see his doc 8 hours away. He had prostate surgery 3 weeks ago. He has every right to try as much as anyone. I agree. That should be left up to the individual and their family. It shouldn't be... It's too expensive to keep alive, says Michael Bloomberg, the billionaire oligarch, who I'm sure would spend any amount of money and resources to prolong his life or his quality of life, but he doesn't think that same privilege should be extended to us everyday working class folk, because we just didn't work hard enough. We need to lift ourselves up by the bootstrap, and someday we'll become a billionaire. The more we learn about Bloomberg, the scarier he gets. Actually, he's a nightmare. He really is. This is like the 1275th thing that Bloomberg said that's disqualifying. He's like taking everyone out of voting for him. I want to get rid of Trump, but damn, this is getting ridiculous. Looks like the death panels are going to be real after all, indeed. We already have them. Private health insurance companies or corporate death panels. Okay. So again, I just wanted to just point out how horrible and disingenuous of an argument that Michael Bloomberg was making there. The way to save money, again, that study from the Lancet just came out a couple days ago. Medicare for all would save up to, or I think it said more than $450 billion, that's billion with a B, dollars a year, that's each year, or it was equivalent to about a 13% reduction in healthcare costs in the United States, as well as close to 70,000 lives. So again, super important that we make sure Bernie Sanders is the candidate. He's the only one who will fight to make sure Medicare for all becomes a reality. It's super important. It's just insane that we don't guarantee healthcare as a human right, and we have all these horrible healthcare outcomes as a result. So Bernie 2020, not me, us. Bloomberg is a racist oligarch. Leave your comments in the comment sections down below. Peace. Much love.